Now, let's take a look at how Federal Fair Housing Act relates to leasing. The Federal Fair Housing Act prohibits a landlord or property manager from unlawfully discriminating against individuals during solicitations and negotiations for the rental of a dwelling. Thus, a landlord or property manager may not refuse to rent a dwelling or to negotiate the rental of a dwelling for prohibited reasons, impose different rental charges on a dwelling for prohibited reasons, use discriminatory qualification criteria or different procedures for processing applications in the rental of a dwelling, evict tenants or tenant guests for prohibited reasons. Selective reduction of tenant privileges, conditions, services, and facilities offered to protected individuals is prohibited. Here are some examples of selective reductions. Offering different terms in a lease, such as the rental charge, security deposit, and the term of the lease than offered to other individuals. Delaying or failing to perform maintenance, or limiting use of privileges, services, or facilities to different classes of individuals. Further, the landlord or property manager may not discriminate based on an individual's status by representing that a dwelling is not available for rent in order to direct the individual to a particular neighborhood when the dwelling is available. This practice is called steering. Steering is also prohibited in the context of sales. Steering involves the restriction of an individual seeking to rent or buy a dwelling in a community or neighborhood when the guidance perpetuates segregated housing patterns. In other words, it's unlawful housing practice that includes words or actions by a real estate sales licensee intended to influence the choice of a prospective buyer or tenant. Now keep in mind that steering can also be done innocently and with the best of intentions. Consider a single parent with a toddler who wishes to look at a garden-style apartment where the swimming pool is unprotected. While it may be appropriate to point out the obvious danger of the ungated pool and the unsuitability of the apartment for the single parent, the decision to look at the apartment must still be left to the prospective tenant. The agent is not to make that choice for the tenant, in effect, steering them away. A broker or their agent advertising a rental unit is barred from using any word that indicates a discriminatory preference or limitation against individuals of protected classes of people. Again, protected status could be based on, say, religion, gender, or family status. Note there are some limited exceptions. Housing qualified for older citizens which exclude children is not considered prohibited discrimination based on family status. However, for housing to exclude children, it needs to first qualify as housing for the elderly. A senior citizen housing project is housing intended for and solely occupied by persons 62 years of age or older, or intended and operated for occupancy by persons of 55 years of age or older.